We are still over a month away from the English release of Mega Evolution, and we're starting to see the Japanese Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia. They've been out for a little while now, so we can kind of see how the market is reacting. And the more and more I think about the English Mega Evolution release, the crazier and the stronger the set seems to be to me. So we have a little bit of the numbers from the Japanese side rolling in, so we can do a little bit of speculation and comparison. So we're going to take a look at those sets and kind of see how they compare and what you guys can expect for Mega Evolutions when it comes to the English side. And I think for some of the cards, we can use Black Bolt as a reference point so we can kind of compare. But let's just jump straight into currently what I'm talking about. So this is Mega Brave. Just for reference, this is half of what we're going to see on the English side. We're going to look at everything, so don't worry, we're going to look at the Symphonia side as well. This is just half of what we're currently looking at, and what we're missing currently is the gold Mega Lucario is not showing up on TCG Player, but it's kind of going to take the place of this card. The Lily's Determination isn't going to hold this kind of price in English. On the Japanese side, the whole waifu thing is kind of crazy, and it just doesn't work on the English side. So this card's going to be replaced by the gold Mega Lucario, probably similarly priced, if not more expensive. So when we're looking at this set, like I said, this is only half, and I want to talk about kind of like cards that could be or will be over $100. And I'm using that as a reference because we're going to kind of talk about Destined Rivals in a little bit of comparison. But this is what we're looking at. If you have the gold Mega Lucario right here, you have one, then you have the Mega Lucario fighting the Venusaur and the Mega Venusaur. Currently, this one's a $92 card in Japanese. It'll definitely be over 100 on the English side. So you got at least 3 out the gate guaranteed that are going to be over $100 just from half of this set. And then there's also the chance, while it's not a guarantee by any means, but this Mega Absol card, the special illustration rare right here, definitely could be another one that could hit that price point. It just really depends on kind of how the market takes it. But we're not going to count that one. We're going to say maybe that one is the one that goes under 100. So you're looking at 3 out the gate that could potentially be just from half of the set. And then obviously there's other very strong cards as far as illustration rares go. You got the Bulbasaur, the Ivysaur, the Steelix. I think the Vulpix is a very strong illustration rare. And the Riolu, and then to a lesser extent, the Spearow and the Executor, I think are strong IRs as well, being Gen 1 Pokemon. And then you jump over to the Mega Symphonia side. And this one is showing the gold from this set, the gold Gardevoir, right? So then you count, okay, gold Gardevoir definitely going to be big. These cards, they're a new rarity, Mega Ultra Rare, if you're not familiar, which is similar to what they just did with Black and White with the Black and White rarity, which is something we'll talk about a little bit more in the video. So the Black and White rarity coming into effect, and we're going to see similar pricing. You can already see this card's at $400, and then the Mega Gardevoir, absolutely stunning, well over 100. The Mega Latios is another one that I think it's right here at the $91 mark in Japanese, and usually the cards are more expensive in English, so this is another one we should see over that $100 mark. So we're looking at 6 cards out the gate that could easily most likely be over that $100 mark. And like I said, that is where we're going to talk about Destined Rivals. And actually, we'll just jump straight over to that real quick. Just for reference, currently what we're seeing from Destined Rivals, being over a $300 booster box is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cards over the $100 mark on the English side, with the Nidoking just barely being over 100 currently. So when you start to think about that, and you think about that, this set could have 6 cards over the $100 mark, with some of them being really big value, talking about these gold cards being in the $300, $400, $500 range, potentially, depending on how the market kind of, dictates that. That could be absolutely crazy for the set. That's what I'm talking about, is this set could be absolutely insane. So that's kind of, at least comparatively wise, what we're looking at. And we'll do a little bit of comparison, like I said, to Black and White here in a second. But before we do that, I did want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is PokeNotify. PokeNotify is a notification service, a Discord server that you can get set up on your phone, so you can get notifications sent straight to your phone as we get closer to Mega Evolutions coming out. If you guys want to have a better chance to get restocks, this is going to be one of the best ways that you guys can be notified for restocks from all your major retailers. It's what I use Pokemon Center, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, wherever you can find Pokemon cards, this is where you can get notifications for the second that they restock. And a lot of the times you can get notifications before. They're really great about, hey, Pokemon Center queue looks like it's going up, get ready. And so you can stay up to date on that. It's what I use, and I've had good success hitting product and getting those restocks. So if you want to try out Poke Notify, they do have a free 3-day trial. There'll be a link and a discount code in the description, so make sure you check out Poke Notify. Now, we do have also some more confirmed eBay sales on some of the gold cards. This is the gold Mega Lucario that I was talking about earlier. That it's currently not showing up on TCG Player, but we're seeing this one go in the $400 range. This one is the lowest one currently, but it had $38 shipping, so it's kind of right here at this price at the 420s. Once again, these cards will most likely come down in value because they haven't been out that long and there's not that many out there. But just keep in mind, like, this is the Japanese side and the English side tends to be more expensive. So we're already seeing $400 gold Mega Lucarios. We're seeing $400 gold Mega Gardevoirs, some as high as $500 for the Gardevoir, almost $1,000 for the pair right here being sold. Here's another $520 sale. So it looks like the Gardevoir maybe being a bit more expensive than the Lucario on the Japanese side. So just out the gate, very expensive. Now, we can compare, and we will compare, to the Zekrom from Black Bolt. Now, this is what I wanted to reference, because we have this for both Japanese and English. We can look at it. This is the black and white rarity, which once again, we're doing a little bit of assuming that the Mega Ultra Rare is going to be about the same rarity. So Zekrom on the English side, albeit it's been coming down in value. You can see it's down around 10%. It's currently around $400. Lowest listeds on TCG Player are right in that lower $400 range currently. You can see lowest actually right here, $396 plus $1.50 shipping. Call it $400, right? So $400, and that's the only one that's kind of at that price. Then they're a little bit over $400. So $400 on the English side versus on the Japanese side, we're seeing just under 300, like 275 right here. 275 currently is what the lowest listeds are. So you can do a little bit of comparison just to kind of see where things are going to be at. I would assume that the gold cards would be more popular than these versions of the monochromatic, just the black or the white. People tend to like the gold cards a little bit more. So we could see, if they're more rare, we could see the price be a little bit more expensive on the gold cards moving forward. So once again, these will probably drop on the Japanese side, but you can assume that maybe if these drop, maybe this is kind of where the English cards end up being at, considering the Zekrom right here is still at $400. So at least out the gate, they'll be very expensive on the English side. So that we know for sure. People are going to want to chase those gold cards because they do look stunning. If you've seen the video, any videos of them being pulled or them like moving, they do really pop. They look really cool. Can't wait to see one of those in person. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as a little bit of comparison. And let me know if you guys agree and or disagree in the comments. Like, is this set gonna be like a Destined Rivals with 6 cards over the $100 mark? And obviously, you could have, you got your Garchomp right here at 200 and your Team Rocket's Mewtwo currently holding around 350, but we could see those 2 gold cards being maybe 350, 400 plus. So you could have, 2 $400 cards just out the gate, and then the other ones kind of declining slowly off of that to like a 200 and then in the $100 range. So that's going to be very fascinating to see moving forward. So Destined Rivals obviously came out the gate. As far as booster box prices go for Destined Rivals, the lowest that they kind of hit was like 245, 240-ish, and then they've climbed. Now they're over 300, up to 300, and now they're like 310, 315 is kind of currently what we're seeing as far as that goes. So because Destined Rivals is the last mainline set that we've had released before this, because then Black and White was a specialty set with no booster boxes. And the only other set that really compares as far as the number of cards that are over $100 currently would be Prismatic Evolutions. Obviously, that being a unique beast, having much more than that, over the $100 mark. There's a ton. But other than that, like this is kind of like the big dog set currently when it comes to cards over 100. So that's really what we're looking at as a little bit of a comparison between the two sets. And then booster boxes, currently what we're seeing, $250 on TCG Player for pre-orders for the booster box. So I would expect that these will hold, maybe drop a little bit more the closer we get. It is going to depend on supply, I think, for Mega Evolution moving forward, because Mega Evolution, it's a new block, it's a new era, and when a lot of these shortages started happening and the market started going crazy, right? That was in January when a lot of that stuff started around Prismatic. And we are now, this is going to come out, in September. So we've had plenty of time for them to maybe make some adjustments. This would be like one of the first sets where it's like, hopefully they've printed more. Obviously they've been focusing on reprints and other things. So, but we could see a higher print run out the gate initially. Once again, I don't know any of this. This is just speculation, just something that I'm theorizing on, is definitely possible. And that could play a factor moving forward, because if we have Destined Rivals level allocation, then this box is going to, I don't see it really going that much lower than what we're currently seeing at these pre-orders of 250. Like I said, maybe it goes down to 240 like Destined Rivals, but this set shows a lot of strength and a lot of depth. It really, really does. So there's just so much. And we didn't even talk about some of the other illustration rares, a little bit of the depth from the Mega Symphonia side, because there's a few other illustration rares that I do think add to the depth. The Alakazam, actually, we'll go back to it just for a second. The Alakazam right here, another stunning illustration rare. I think the Inteleon's really nice looking. And then after that, I think Mega Symphonia may be a little bit weaker when it comes to the regular IRs. But there are some nice arts, obviously, but just not quite as strong as the Mega Brave side with some of those first gens. But I do like the Litleo and the Stuffle, I think are nice ones that I actually like a lot as well, that aren't Gen 1. So, but yeah, obviously we can't forget about Alakazam. That's going to be a big one moving forward. I think that's a really nice illustration rare. So a lot of depth on the English side. And yeah, I just think that moving forward, like I said, depending on the print size, the print run, that this is going to, because I don't know if the demand is going to be the same as Destined Rivals. I would assume that because I feel like Destined Rivals was kind of, albeit it's performing very well as far as like price wise and everything, a lot of people were disappointed with Destined Rivals because of the Team Rocket aspect, that they were a little bit disappointed that they didn't go harder and do it more justice on the Team Rocket side of Destined Rivals. Whereas here with the Mega Evolution, I don't think there's not that expectation, right, of like a Team Rocket kind of situation. So I think people are just a little bit more willing and more accepting that it just looks like a great set, and it looks deep. So if we get the same print run size, I would assume that this will, like I said, meet or exceed the demand for Destined Rivals. So we won't really see the booster boxes drop that much more unless we get a ton more. Supply and demand will dictate that to a certain extent. So just the more and more I think about this set, the crazier that it really looks like it could be, considering where the market's at. I'm not trying to necessarily hype it up. I know it's going to come out that way, but I'm not trying to create FOMO for it. I'm just trying to be realistic with what we could potentially see, and use some comparisons as far as like set value. And then, like I said, I do think that the black and white comparisons between the English and the Japanese, I think, are going to be fairly strong for what we're going to see between Mega Brave, Mega Symphonia, and Mega Evolution on the English and Japanese side. I think that's a pretty fair comparison. And then the Destined Rivals, as far as like showing bigger cards that are like over that $100 mark, I think that that's kind of fair as well. Just showing that how deep this set is. that really is a possibility to see, and it could be more than that. There are some other cards that we could end up with like 7 cards over the $100 mark, so it's just another thing to keep an eye on as well. So we don't really know, but we do know that the set will be popular for sure. They're going to sell a ton of boxes. They're going to be hard to get at retail. That's looking like that's not changing anytime soon, unless they come out, like I said, with a massive announcement saying like, hey, we printed double or triple the amount of the previous last mainline set. That's what it would take to really, and it still wouldn't bring it down to MSRP, I don't think, but it would. That's what it would take to like really bring the price down to a more sustainable, like acceptable level. And I just don't think we're going to see that with Mega. I think the hype is just going to continue. And then like I said, we're moving into crazier sets. We just recently got the announcement, and I might talk about this in a future video, we have a Mega Dragonite set, which is not a surprise at all, because we saw that reveal of Mega Dragonite. It's tied in with the Z to A game. It would make sense that we would get a Mega Dragonite featured set. So that's coming as well. So you got your Greninja set, you got your Rayquaza set, you got your Mega Dragonite set, you have your Phantasmal Flames coming after this, which is your Charizard, Mega Gengar set. So just it's not slowing down anytime soon, and I think this is a great set out the gate. So I'm doing my rambling thing where I'm kind of talking and spitballing here, but I do think it's all relevant, and we're gonna wrap it up here. Those are just kind of getting out my final closing thoughts. So let me know in the comments like how you guys are feeling about Mega moving forward. Agree or disagree? I think for a base set, it's looking very, very strong. So very excited for it. Hopefully, I'd love to get my hands on some product to actually rip for this set. I'm actually really excited. I love to open it, but it just depends on how much I'm able to get at a reasonable price. So, and I gotta save. I gotta start saving a little bit for some of these other sets that are going to be coming out as well. I would assume we're going to get a Mega Gyarados card at some point. So, my favorite Pokemon. Gotta save up to be able to get that bad boy when that comes out. Obviously, it's not going to be featured. I don't think we're going to get a Mega Gyarados set, but a Mega Gyarados card should be in one of these sets, right? So very excited for that. So hopefully we get that moving forward. Just personally, really rooting for that. We didn't get Gyarados got screwed in 151 and in the Scarlet and Violet era overall, in my opinion. So that's what we need. That's what we need. Gyarados fans need that. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.